Hey guys, Cam from 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another Go Go Lose a Ranger episode review for you guys. As well, things we gotta. This episode was crazy, man. This episode was crazy. We see that freaking god-like monster show up now because the chick hiding in Hibiki's basically closet ended up sending a distress, message at the start of the episode. You know, that was a crazy reveal within itself and shocking. And that thing's going around killing people in the Ranger Academy. Um, Fighter D casually just reveals to one of the freaking participants like he's a monster and everything. Oh, and then on top of it, Shion and several other, Ranger candidates ended up teaming up and essentially, backstabbing Fighter D and their other partners to try to get these keys and everything. And it's all going to be coming to a head, I'm guessing, next week. As for maybe the monster, which his name is Patrolta or something like that. Patrolta. That might be like final bad guy they fight at the end of the season, before the season concludes. But a bunch of craziness happens in this week's episode of Go Go Lose a Ranger, and again, I'm still here for wanting to get more content. And again, it's desperately making me want to well, one, get a season 2 confirmation, and two, it just still kicks me in the butt that I didn't talk about this show earlier. But regardless, I talked about the first 6 episodes in a skim format, so now I can finally talk about this episode and just talk about the craziness that happened. You know, so with the fact that they ended up beating, they ended up getting past the first day, because I believe there's like 3 days. Ended up getting past the first day. They didn't get any keys. But this episode, that's where they make progress, and that's when things look like they're putting Fighter D in a pretty bad position, because it's kind of I guess you can say it's kind of obviously the fact that him and Shion, the other guy that they were kind of butting heads last week, they kind of had a talk, and we kind of find out some information about Shion, the fact that his brother ended up dying. Maybe it has something to do with Patrolta or something like that, because Fighter D mentioned Hibiki's backstory to him and everything, and that's basically where that went. And next thing you know, the next day, you have it where Fighter D talks with the blue, like, I guess, vice captain, the Blue Rangers vice captain, cute little lolly girl, who ends up at the last episode, at the last part of the episode, finding out that Patrolta is basically running around creating havoc and everything. But that's only going to be something for another day, leads up for something at another point in time. But just have it to where his brother got killed, and he's kind of fueled by revenge on these monsters and everything. So Fighter D is like, well, I gotta probably take this guy out at some point, because he's just gonna be trying to go after monsters, and he seems like a guy that won't be reasoned with. So it's like, if this dude actually revealed, like, if Fighter D actually revealed like who he was, then Shion probably gonna kill him, like, right on the spot. Like, he ain't gonna mess around with that. So that's kind of the thing. And you just kind of have that moment where Fighter D is just like waiting for Shion to come, and they can work together and everything. And next thing you know, the blue vice captain is like, I don't know, you sure you want to wait for him? You're getting basically duped, essentially. And then basically it's revealed, he goes up to the stairs and he sees Shion fighting the red vice commander looking guy, one of the one of the test basically teachers, that they were fighting in the last episode. And essentially he finds out that, like, oh, basically, I guess you can say I would say the more physically smart and the more physically gifted test contestants are Ranger cadets. Essentially, like, they all formed a team and they all are working together. And the crazy part, the way they're talking, it's in somewhat similar way to how the real, like, basically Rangers are acting like as of today. So it's basically like perfect standstills, and you just have where the red dude is like, the red test teacher is like, this is basically kind of like a world of like give what you take, and basically it's these are people that want to freaking become Rangers, and they don't give a shit who's in their way to become it, because they have the inspiration, I would say the passion, but they have the determination to get to the level where they need to get at. So you just have it to where these group of people just betrayed their own parties because they're like, well, these people are dead weight to us and they're weak to us, so let's just form a team. We're the strongest, so let's do this. So and then you have it at the last bit of the episode with that whole front, where basically one fighter D reveals to one of the combatants, or one of the cadets, like, okay, you're a monster, which it kind of fuels him to like continue to go on. Now, I don't know if that's going to backfire on him, and maybe I don't know if the guy will trust him 100%. That's obviously something to watch for. But they end up, forming their little mini squad. Basically the team of people that kind of got left behind and things like that. So I can see where maybe at some point they all end up becoming better than what they are now. I feel like that's where it's gonna go. But we'll see where that goes. But you basically have to where they go up against Suzukiri, and Suzukiri is just like, well, you need the key and everything, and you have to go fight easily luck. Come on, don't be a crazy chick. Be nice to me. You've been helping me out this entire time. Just give me the damn key. And she's like, as much as I would love to do that, I can't do that because I am basically the exam teacher, so I can't make it so hard on you guys, or easy on you guys. So they end up firing attacks on her. She's blocking it. Like, she has like this freaking barrier attack that she's blocking. Dude tries to come up and attack her from behind, but she ends up blocking that, and then she ends up talking to the one guy, basically kind of like, I guess, putting him down in a weird way, or getting his confidence low, because we find out like one of the chicks, I think it was the purple haired chick, left him because like, oh, he's pretty weak and he's not confident in himself and a bunch of stuff like that. And she kind of brings it down. She's like, that's probably why she left you, and things like that. And you kind of get some little bit of flashback into his past, as well as the afro looking guy too. We don't really see much about the new girl, the different contacted colored girl, but you have it to where fighter D ends up getting in. He tries to get a sucker punch in, but Suzukiri ends up blocking it, and she's like, and basically, the whole thing is like, oh, you want to go now? You want to fight now? You want to scrap now? I'm like, okay, are we getting fighter D versus Suzukiri, crazy chick? That's basically recruited us to do all these things. And basically she kind of somewhat asked him like, all right, so what's your whole goal? What's your whole motive? And then he ends up saying like, oh, world domination. The other was like, huh? That's a weird thinking, stuff like that. And she just laughs, and she just gives him the key willy-nilly. Then she just walks off, and she's like, good, fighter D, you got 4 more keys to go, essentially. And it's like, I don't know what her deal is. I don't know, maybe she likes him, or she has some sort of infatuation with him. I don't know. Again, she gives me Makima vibes from Chainsaw Man. I can't get a read on what she is, and she's crazy. Listen, she's hot and she's attractive, and for some reason I simp for crazy chicks like that, like a Makima, or freaking Suzukiri. But look, I don't know what her goal, her end game is, other than like she wants to see basically the teardown of the Ranger organization and everything. So who knows? But that was the crazy. And then you end off the episode where they end up coming in, the new squad ends up coming in, and they just take the key from them willy-nilly right then and there. And it's basically setting up where, okay, we're probably gonna have to fight these guys, and we're gonna have to kick their asses to get the keys back and basically be able to pass the exam, because clearly these dudes are not gonna give the keys right back, so they're gonna clearly have to fight. So it's setting up for a very interesting test climax we get maybe in episode 8. But you have it in this week where the other shocking part is Patrolta, that guy we saw in Hibiki's backstory who killed like all those people, show up, and you have it to where they get one of the ranger cadets or one of the ranger peoples to like come fix the door, or come fix the closet Hibiki's in Hibiki's room. He ends up coming across Fighter XX, the chick. But he's like, look, I'm not trying to fight you or anything. You can go willy-nilly, just don't create much havoc, just get out of here, escape. I'll let you go. Like, and he goes on to talk about, like, I joined the Ranger Corps or the Ranger system mostly because I just kind of want to be peaceful and not do much. I'm not much of a fighter anyways, but I don't want to do much of anything. Next thing you know, this guy comes in and freaking kills her. At first I thought Fighter D was going to walk in and be like, what the hell is going on here? And then dude's going to ask him like, hey, you had like a monster in your closet or something like that. I won't tell anybody. I thought that was going to happen, but no. Freaking yeah, patrol to show up, blast him, and kill him right then and there. And basically it's like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. We got to go create some chaos, right? And you can see, like, she's clearly trembling in fear. Like, she knows, okay, this is not a guy I don't want to fuck with. And she ends up saying, like, Fighter D, I swear, you might need to get out of here. Because for your sake, this is going to be bad. And she's basically fearing for her life the entire thing. So it feels like this guy would even kill monsters if he wanted to do it. And the fact that this guy walks around self-proclaiming himself as a god is absolutely crazy. But they end up stuffing the dude's dead body in the freaking in the closet where she was staying at. And again, Fighter D was there when it was there. Now, he doesn't pick up on any like smell of blood or decay or something, but after a while, you think if somebody walks in his room, they're gonna be like, your room smells weird and it smells like a corpse or something like that. And then so that's another storyline where you hopefully he ends up realizing this before, if anything, or if somebody does realize this and say, okay, why are you keeping a dead body in here? And then he could be like, I don't know what the hell happened here. But to be honest, Fighter D is not going to be in a good position because eventually, because I don't think it does matter what explanation he gets, he's going to be screwed either way. So, and the worst part is one of the people already know his secret that he's a monster. So reality wise, if they're all that little small group that they're in are in his room eventually, and they end up finding that dead body, that afro looking guy is going to be like, why did I trust this guy? At the end of the day, he's a fucking monster. And that could blow up, and that could be a whole backup thing which could end up blowing the cover unless they find some way, unless maybe Fighter XX finds a way to get away from Patrolta and basically get back to Hibiki's room and just tell him like, look dude, there's this dead body or something. Maybe what she might do is maybe she'll take the fall while he's like, it was me, I killed this person or something like that, and things like that. And maybe he has to like, maybe he probably might have to kill her. Maybe he would have to do that to maybe not keep his cover blown. Maybe he might actually have to kill her and get rid of her. And maybe it might be something that where she's fine with it because she's like, look, you need to freaking do this thing. It's crazy, right? So it's crazy. I don't know where the story's gonna go other than the test portion, but the other side, it's gonna be something to watch for. So it's gonna be very interesting to see if that dead body's gonna come back to bite Fighter D's in the ass. Unless maybe somehow, some way he can find a way to get out of this situation. But I don't know how he's going to get out of this situation with the fact that somebody else other than Hibiki knows his cover now. I don't know if the dude will be too trusting. We'll just say that. So interesting episode. Definitely can't wait to see more of Go-Go Lose Ranger. It is a great show. And yeah, but other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Go-Go Lose Ranger content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. So then guys, peace.